Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go.
Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal.
Shelly
Me don't want no fake love,
and
me only want the real deal.
Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. Just slip on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets.
Shelly Live and be lovebird.
Shelly Live and be lovebird.
Shelly Live and be lovebird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Shelly Live and be lovebird.
Shelly Live and be lovebird.
Shelly Live and be lovebird.
Hey, Facebook.
Hey everybody.
Happy Thursday. So this
My parents today, y'all. But I done had a rough day.
yes, that is that is it. A rough day.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix my wig, pull it down. Hey, Etienne. Y'all have really been on this subject today, this topic. We have like tons and tons of comments, and we're not gonna be able to read them all because it is too many, but we will read some of them. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. Today's topic is, do you think that people are or can be born gay? I say yes, simply because we can be born with all types of things, all types of abnormalities, disabilities. People are born with things that you wouldn't believe. And so why is being born gay not a thing you could be born with? Because we know that to be true, that you can be. You know what I'm saying? So
that you could be born different.
Right. And then, people will keep wanting to equate it to the Bible, but homosexuality been going on since the beginning of times is what I'm saying. But I do truly believe that you could be born gay. I just do. Because who's to say? Chromosomes and hormones get mixed up all the time. That's why, there's a certain percent of people that are born with both sexual organs. And then as they grow older, their parents see which gene is more dominant, which is a hermaphrodite. So who's to say that you can't be, born back? Because you hear people say all the time, I was born a man, but I'm a female in a man's body, or I'm a man in a female's body. That is true. I believe that to be true. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and read a couple of these comments, and then we can jump right in and you can start it out.
Vonda, move to your. There you go, right there. Right there.
Okay.
Now you're in the middle. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Johnny. Hey, Goldie. Goldie said, it's almost like racism. You're not born with it. You're taught it. Word. I don't think so. Being gay is not a condition. It's who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could be born with abnormalities. You could be born with this. It's who you are. But anyway, I'm going to read some of these comments. Let's see. Oh, Lord, y'all that came in like a wrecking ball. Manissa said definitely a born thing. Tony said yes, I think we are born with a preference. Andreas said you are born with what God gave us. Anything else is what it is, man. As a fetus, it is not a born thing. You are born with a male organ or a female organ. There are exceptions, less than 1% hermaphrodites. It's more than that, Andreas, and I still beg to differ. Kathy said no. Renee said no. Hey, Justin said, as a gay man, I'm here to tell you that yes, we are born gay. I have always been attracted to men, but was always scared to admit it because of losing my family. I even married a woman and had 2 children with her to cover it up. I am now happily married to my best friend, who is a man. See, Winona said she totally believes it. Roscoe said yes. G Jack said if you can be born crazy or with your brain outside of your skull, you can definitely be born gay. That's what I'm saying. Okay, and Tree says gay is not a lifestyle, it is who you are. What I just said, I totally agree that you are born gay. I don't know anybody who would choose to be discriminated against, ridiculed, or even killed because they choose to love. Other than African Americans, they definitely have a hard walk. Most black rather see their child on drugs, unhappy, in jail, rather than to see or hear them say they are gay. So sad. Why do we need proof of how we feel or what we want? Love is universal. I agree with that, Tree. And Mahogany answered and said, I was coming basically to say the same thing. And why is it anyone's business who a person loves? If you're happy, then I'm happy. Exactly. And she also said, Derek said, how does a baby know what their sexual preference is? That's missing the whole point, Derek. James said, to answer your question, God doesn't make mistakes. Enough said. And then Marcel Squink said, if you can be born with everything known to man, deformities, you can be born with altered genes. That's what I was trying to say. Kimberly said, Big Sexy said, yes, I have a friend that I asked when he knew he was attracted to men, and his answer was first grade. So I think he was born gay. Also, a family member said when he was in a dressing room after a workout and saw his friend's penis, his penis got hard. So he knew that he was attracted to men. Okay. And then this last one I'm going to read on this, y'all. Tree said, please stop referring to the Bible to plead your cases. There is not one person that has not sinned. The Bible was written referring to sodomy, which is anal sex. But you will have anal sex with a woman. Stay out of people's bedrooms and lives. I agree with all of that. I do.
Well, let me just say, read it two off this of my wall. Chris was saying that is people are uneducated. They are homophobic and they form their own opinion, not knowing facts. That people will lay down with the same sex, not because they want to, because that's what they're I don't want to say like lusting for, but that's what their gene is telling them. So that's what their desire is. Because if you in your mind feel like this is who you really are, who is for anybody to say that's not who you really are?
Right.
Some people want to come on and speak about this. Some people just said yes, and some people said great show topic. So we're gonna see as we open this can of worms where this goes tonight.
Etienne said, my answer is yes and no. Some ladies are born with male genes and females are sometimes born with male genes. But I think at least 75% are born straight but become gay by what they see and are accustomed to seeing and doing. Like children now grow up saying a lot of the same sex saying and even getting married. But I can't, it's so little, y'all. We're being married, but back when you didn't see that it was less of it. But back then you didn't see it was less of. Sometimes it's the environment you see and be around. Let me see if I can make this bigger, cause okay, here we go. But now I can't see you.
Yeah, you know what I look like already.
Lord. Girl, I had to say, I'm trying to tell you. Andrea said, no, one said, so when a baby knows right from wrong in the woman's womb. See,
okay,
it's not about right or wrong. It's about genetics. It's about personal choice, because like you see little kids, parents see little kids, and they know from the rip there's something and there's nothing wrong with that child. That child is just different, and you know it right away. If you're into child, is certain shit you see. Like when we had Lily on, and she said she always knew.
Right.
She always knew from a little child. Maren said it's not a choice. I believe you are born the way you are. I agree with that, Maren. That's what we're saying. Andrew said you are born with what God gave us. Anything else is the man. Okay, that's what he put on earlier. Marion said, I didn't choose to be attracted to women, but I am, and I hate closed-minded people. Shaking my head. Okay, Mary. One said, when a baby is in the mother's stomach, it doesn't know the right between right and wrong. So how can you say they are born gay? Well, you don't know when they are in the womb. When they come out and you see certain things and see certain traits in anybody. This is like people walk around and they make people say they look gay, but that don't mean they're gay. Gay is who you are. It's like she said, it's not a something you just choose today and say, oh, I'm gonna be gay. That's just something within you that, that's just you. That's who you are. Mary said it's not a choice at all. One said the mind is the devil's playground. So how can you say that? Well, being that I'm not, and I know a lot of people got relatives, friends that are gay, and when you sit and you talk to them, they say that they've had these feelings from as long as they can remember. A child doesn't know that; they just know that they feel different. Like when you get a little boy, and all the other little boys playing with cars and trucks, and he want to play with dolls. He want to play in his mama's hair, his sister's hair, his cousin's hair. Right then, you already know. Nobody's told him that. Nobody's shown him that. That's just who he is. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Reading on this topic. I was reading something to try to make a point, but go ahead. I hear you.
Wallace said, I think the only way you can be gay, you are born that way. You're not attracted to women your whole life. Then all of a sudden you're attracted to men. You had to have that attraction the whole time. Again, from yesterday, I believe there has to be an attraction for it to be gay. As you said yesterday, if you blindfolded a man and he gets 6 blowjobs, he's not going to know if it's from a man or woman. There's no attraction. There's just enjoying the pleasure. I get that, Wallace. I understand that when you said that. ET said some people think it's cool. Also, that's why they try sometimes these days. Kids see and do everything. It's sometimes a fad. That's why you have a lot of ladies that have been with a woman, but now they are married to a man and they say they don't like the woman no more.
Okay, so I was reading.
Just somebody going through. Go ahead.
I was reading about that because I was telling y'all that it is fact that a baby is born, a baby in the mother's womb is female first. The female dominates the gene. Mm-hmm. It then crosses into becoming boy or girl. Now, who's to say that because it's already in the womb as a girl, that it didn't take on hormones of a woman? That's why you have kids that come out and they're super feminine, and parents spend so much time trying to beat it out their kids when they really can't help it because their hormones are higher than a girl than it is a boy. You'll take a child to the doctor and a doctor will say, well, we'll give it hormones to bring it down, or we'll give it hormones to level it out. So in the womb for a child being conceived, it is conceived and it is always dominant girl, period. Google that.
Well, yeah, because the chromosomes have to split.
Right.
And then it's either X or Y or XY, and then you get them ones that, typically cross and mix up, and then there you go. Voila. You know what I'm saying? Mary said, she said, I'm married to a man, but that has never stopped my attraction to women. I just met a man that understood. Right, Mary, that was about the show yesterday. Yeah.
Right.
Andrea said, at birth, male and female. One said, how do you think racism is produced? Racism is taught. That's totally different. Racism and being racist is a choice that you make. I don't believe people make the choice to be gay. I think that they fight with some people call demons, or fight with what they think the status quo is, or being right and trying to prove to other people that they're straight when they know all along they're in a body, but they're not living as themselves. They're living a life of somebody else and they're not truly happy. That's why you hear about so many homosexuals and things like that committing suicide, because they can't cope with people they love not coping with it, or dealing with, or accepting accepting them for who they are and leaving them alone. Because to me, love is love, and you love who you want to love. Sean said, DM, one said, isn't the devil the author of confusion? So they say.
Yes.
Etienne said, some guys are just feminine and they don't hide it. And they don't hide it because being gay has always been uncool for guys. That's why guys be on the down low. Like you see more gay men in Atlanta than anywhere else because people see that all the time. It's almost normal there. It's normal.
Don't be trying to
everywhere
call
now,
that Atlanta. It's
Etienne.
normal everywhere. It's not. It's not.
everywhere.
It's not a certain place. This certain state is more gay than the next state. It's who decides to come out and be who they are. The topic is not
It's
saying we're
living
not
your true,
questioning.
it's living your true self.
Yeah, we're not questioning God. We're not saying that God doesn't make mistakes. We're not saying that God makes mistakes. That's not what anybody is doing. What we're saying is that it is a possibility that people are born the way they're born, just like hermaphrodites. So if you're a hermaphrodite and you have both parts and you decide to lean more to your male part, does that make you gay? Does that make you, what does that make you?
Or you a hermaphrodite and you use both of them.
And you use both. What is it? Does that make you not normal? Does that make you a sinner? Does that make the devil's confusion? I mean, I'm just trying to figure that part out because that's the part I don't understand. When it comes to the whole gay dynamics of people's preferences. Now, I do say there's some people that put on one for the team. They might be, doing extra and say, oh, I'm just gay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you have a kid and you look at your kid and you say, there's something different about my child that you can't fix. What do you do? What do you do then?
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I don't care who like it and who do or who don't. People always throwing in the Bible when it comes to homosexuality, but also throw in scripture and use scripture to accommodate the bullshit that they are putting out. So don't use the Bible as an excuse as to why, this is an abomination against God. That is an abomination against God. When sin is sin, and none of us are without it. Point blank, period.
Period.
So with that being said, one sin ain't bigger than the other. And homosexuality, I will say again, has been going on since the beginning of time. Of course, that if you read the word and say that's what you're not supposed to do, it's a lot of shit you ain't supposed to do. You ain't supposed to steal, you ain't supposed to lie, you ain't supposed to cuss, you ain't supposed to covet another man's wife.
You ain't supposed to cheat, you ain't supposed to lust after somebody.
Yeah,
let's talk about it. If we don't open the worm, open it. Are we born into cheating? Are we born into lying? Are we born? These are things that came with the world.
Sin.
We're born into sin, though.
Into sin.
We're born into sin.
When people always, get on that holy roll of hot, holy roll of Bible throwing and Bible toting scripture, check yourself, because guess what? You sin every day just like everybody else do.
Every day.
And at the end, and when you stand before God and you getting judged, guess what? You're gonna have to answer for your sins. What I did, what Shelly did, or anybody else did, that ain't got nothing to do with you. It's what we chose to do for ourselves. So leave people alone, mind your business, and let people live their lives and be them true selves. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? People always want to point the finger and be judgmental and act like they shit don't stink when you doing all types of shit behind closed doors, but you the first one to point your finger at somebody saying, no, they shouldn't do this. No, he should.
This is wrong.
Like that. Let people live their own lives. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying nothing more or nothing less, because like I said, and my cousin said earlier when she had posted earlier, Tree, love is love. Let people love who they want to and stay out of people's business, because at the end of the day, that's just what that is. It's that person's personal choice. That's that person's who they are. That's their lifestyle. That's their business, not mine, yours, or anybody else's. Leave people the hell alone. That's all I'm saying. And stop, and I want to say this too, when people, you touch on it for a second, see that their child is different and they're trying to beat the gay out of them. That is not going to work. The only thing you're doing is making your child more distant, more depressed, hella anxiety. They turn to
Mhm.
drugs, suicide, all this type of stuff. Stop worrying about what other people think about the relationship you should have with your child. Because guess what? Whether you agree with what your child is doing or not, guess what? That's still your child, and you're supposed to love that child unconditionally and accept them for who they are. That's just it. And you know, a lot of people in the church turn their kids away because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Because
And
of
I just think that's wrong because of their lifestyle, the way that they've chosen to live their lives. And that's just what it is. Their lives. You worrying about more about what somebody else is thinking than the mental health of your own kid, to me. That's what
because of
I
the
say.
look, the look.
Yeah, because of the look and because you're worried about what everybody else is thinking and they don't want to be around your child because your child lives this way or your child is doing this or your child is doing that. But they ain't thought about all the shit that they've done along the way. That's all I'm saying. Um, let's see. Y'all, I'm gonna get out the screen because I gotta make this big to see it.
You ain't put it on the screen. I can put it up.
Terry said, well, I think, yeah, that's better.
Who are we on?
Can't have, see, my eyes is playing that little bit of that one. Hi, Terrace. Terrace said, well, I think if you are a male child raised by a woman, then you're going to have feminine tendency. If all he sees is his siblings playing with dolls, he's going to want to play with dolls too. I disagree with that. Simply because, listen, my grandson he lives in the house with us. And it's my daughter, myself, and my two daughters and myself, which is his mom, his grandma, his mom, and his auntie. But he is a whole boy because guess what? We take him to boxing lessons. We do all, but he's got male figures too in his life. But we take him to things. He don't see that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When I say he's a whole boy, he does more than he's rough. He does all these things or whatever. And he knows the difference because he hasn't seen anything different. He's just allowed to be his little self. But that ain't to say, when he sees us putting on makeup, he'll say, that's for girls. You know what I'm saying? He knows the difference and he's 2. So when a child notices those things and start picking up stuff and this and that, that's who that child is at an early age. Because you hear a lot of people say too, from the time I could walk and talk, I knew I was different. Every child is different. Like, when you hear people say, that baby got an old soul. They've been here before. They know things. It's just
seeing some stuff and you can't comprehend it.
Like when little JoJo said what he said, and you thought somebody told him to say it. That's just JoJo. He's just an old little person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody has to tell these kids things because guess what? They're making it the norm with society, social media, the media, TV shows, where they have the cartoon characters now. They in homosexual relationships. They're teaching this to these kids now. So you as a parent, if you don't like that, control what your child watch on TV and talk to your kids. That's all you can do. That's what I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but and Shirley, well, we both know because I've been around you forever. You know what I'm saying? So we always knew.
Right.
We always knew because the child was just different, period. But
and it doesn't make you not care for them any less. You just see things that this ain't normal.
Maren said racism is for sure taught. It's not the same. Exactly, Maren. That's what I said. He said, isn't God perfect but puts the spirit in an unloving
being.
See, I think you're going a little bit off to the left because what makes them unloving because their sexual preference is of the same sex. That has nothing to do with being unloving. Like I said, love is love. And it things come from all different walks of life. So you can't say that person is unloving because they're homosexual. That's just crazy. That's just crazy to me. Etienne said, it's just like a girl that grow up around a lot of all guys become a tomboy because she played rough with the guys and climbed trees and played sports. I was a whole tomboy, like for real.
And I'm a girl, okay?
Flag football, baseball, all kinds of stuff. But I'm a whole loud woman. That didn't make me want to be like, oh, them guys, they got these girls. I didn't want to do that. I was just rough and play it with the boys, because that was really out in the neighborhood. Everybody else was girly, and I had
Girly.
a lot of brothers and a lot of male cousins. So I was just raised differently, but that didn't change my view on. I was just who I am. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my thing. Like,
Mhm.
well, they doing it. Let me go out here and get me a baddie. Let me go get me a chick. That wasn't ever my thing. I like
Right.
dudes.
I want to get her because I think this is right. No.
Yeah, no. Mary said, why do people always want to bring God or the devil into it? Mary, that's what I just said. Like,
To
if you
justify
do that,
stuff.
bring it into the stuff that you're doing.
To everything.
Like on a daily
Bring it into everything.
on a daily basis. Yeah, bring it up into what you do in your daily life every day. Because ain't nobody perfect. And Mary's mama was a pastor. So
Mhm.
what that mean? And a lot of times, man, I ain't throwing you under the bus. But you know, they always say them damn PK kids is always something different. For real, for real.
Well,
Or kids of parents that are overly religious.
can make a kid want to do stuff wrong, and that's not
Yeah.
saying we're not straying for the topic that can a person be born gay? Can a person be born feminine? Period. That's the bottom line. Can they be? I believe in truth, in walk, that they can.
Marin, I totally agree. Bottom line, live your truth and do what makes you happy. Absolutely. Roger says, hey Roger. Roger said, well, the only thing I like gay is Ben Gay and Marvin Gaye. Marin said there is nothing to fix. Right. When people say, you'll hear people say, well, he was born that way, or I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know what's wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with him or her. That's just who they are. What's wrong with you? Because you can't accept it. Do you? Is it because you have an issue with what your sexual preferences really are? You can say that.
Be the question. Are you questioning
You
yourself?
can argue that. And you remember my friend that was on the show the other night, and remember when I had my friend on the show, and he was talking about his lifestyle and all this kind of stuff. And he was saying they was somewhere, and I was like, man, you be talking to him, and that he was like, I'm comfortable with me. Why are you not comfortable with you?
With me, right?
Right. Why are you not comfortable
Who
with
you
him?
are.
He don't come off on you like that. You know what I'm saying? And then it could be because they have that attraction and they're afraid what's gonna happen if they happen to be around each other.
If it shows, yeah.
In that setting, yeah. Because one thing about a gay person, they could smell one that's gay on the down low or one that won't.
On the down low when you're slipping and sliding.
They'll look at you and they'll bump you like, that's family over there, because that's what they say. That's family. You know what I'm saying? So they know, and I think that's what the so-called heterosexuals are afraid of, because they can be called out by a gay person quick. Mary said, you love your child regardless. Absolutely. Hey, Kevin. Kevin said you can be a feminine female and not gay, a feminine male and not be gay. True. Gay is the decision to be sexual with the same sex. You can be a female attracted to women, but you become gay when you have sexual interactions with the same sex. And see, somebody yesterday, Kevin, said, you're not even gay if there's no attraction or any love. It's just you having fun and experimenting. Right. And I can agree with that kind of to a degree. But it's still hard for me to say if a man getting penetrated, penetrating another man, he's not gay. Just for me, it's different between men and women, period.
Okay, so
but I get what Wallace was saying. But I get what Wallace was saying too. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said there's no attachments.
Right. But what about when a man is transgender, does not like the act of being gay, does not like the penetration of being gay, but cannot accept his skin in a man's body? What does that make you?
It still makes him who he is, or her who she is. She just have to come to terms with what she really wants. That's what that is. I think at that point, it's a struggle between pleasing other people and being true to yourself. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always say, you know, when I'm talking to, you know, and I'll say, listen, you can't get mad when people staring at you or whatever, because you are
Right.
beautiful. They could be looking at you because of that. And you know, I also told, I said, if you feel like that, maybe you're not comfortable with who you are. You need to
Within
maybe
your skin.
reevaluate what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I love you regardless. You can do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's just, that's the thing that each individual has to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And then also it depends on what's been thrown at them from people they care about, family members, friends, so-called friends, parents, you know, whatever. And, you know, they taking all that, and you know, they taking all these punches and blows. And so during that time, I think it causes so much confusion in their minds when they're already trying to deal with who they are. I think that's what makes a person like on the defense with that. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say, even with us, be comfortable in the skin you in. We all have flaws and have things that we don't like about ourselves. It's about how you accept what it is. If that's what it
Right.
is, that's just what it is. I got shit on me I hate, but guess what? Fuck it. You either like it, love it, or leave it alone. And that's
Or
just
don't be
it.
bothered with it.
Yeah, and that's just it. You know what I'm saying? Because truly, you know, that, and you know, like I say, even with cosmetic surgeries and stuff like that, I'm not against it. I feel like if a woman wants to do that and feel good about herself, I'm all for it. But do it for you. Don't do it because you're worried about or want somebody else's opinion of how you look or how you feel. I think if
Right.
you get it, it should be because it's something that you want. Because 9 times out of 10, we want these things, but the person we're with love us just the way we are. It's the thing that we want to do. And I feel like if that's something you want to do, then do it. Don't worry about what nobody
If
else
it
got to say.
makes you happy. Right. If
Right.
it's
If it
making
makes
you
you
happy.
happy, just do it. That's the same thing with a person accepting who they are for themselves and not worrying about what other people think. Because like my brother always said, the food you eat don't make me shit. So why am I so worried about and caught up in what you think about me? Especially if I need $5, I can't even call you and ask you for it. So why am I so worried and caught up in that? That's what I'm saying. But Mary said, first of all, the Bible was written by man, and it's honestly the biggest fairy tale ever written. And Mary, and you know, piggybacking off of that, not only that, where are the true pages of the Bible? Truly, it's been rewritten thousands and thousands and thousands of times for people to turn it into whatever, like I say, to accommodate whatever they were going through at that time. You know what I'm saying? This is like me and you, we could go somewhere and I'll be start throwing Bible scriptures, but I do it just to accommodate the bullshit that I'm doing right then and there. And it don't even apply.
Right.
But that's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So like I say,
But we
the truth
all
be
do
said,
that. People do that all day, every day. They
yeah,
take out the
right. And the Bible, yeah, they take bits and pieces and apply it to whatever they're doing to make them feel good about the shit that they throwing out there. She froze, y'all. Let me see. Hold on. Wait, y'all, I'm gonna get it. Devil. I'm trying to find where I was, y'all. Give me 1 second. Because there's so many comments coming in. Hold on. Mary said, okay. I happened to tell y'all she froze. She'll be back in a second. Wallace said, I was telling me I don't know what happened to you. You froze up on me. Wallace said, I tell people all the time, if you use the Bible as a weapon and not a tool, you're using it wrong. Absolutely, Wallace. Hey, Lasoni, he said, all I'm saying is just say that's what you chose to do instead of saying you're born like that. I really believe people can be born that way, Lasoni. I do. I truly believe that. And Marin said at Shay, it's not a choice. Right. I don't believe that either. Eaton said it's different in Atlanta. than I hear in Greensboro and my hometown of Lynchburg, Virginia. I don't see gay men until I visit Atlanta when I was about 13 years old. Not saying there are not gay men anywhere else, but it's cool in Atlanta. Gays flock there like birds in the winter just because some feel they are home. I understand what y'all are saying, but everywhere I go, I hear people talk about Atlanta being the gay capital of the USA. Well, they used to say it about San Francisco, and now it's Atlanta. And I think too, people go where they're comfortable.
Where they
You know what
know
I'm saying?
people is not going to bother them.
Right, where they're free to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to be somewhere and then everybody looking at them, saying mean things to them and all this kind of stuff when they just simply trying to live their best life? Mary said, I know that about the church being a preaches something. She said, I can't see it. Hey,
And
Rose.
even in church, look at you go to a church now, any church, pick one, New Birth. There's tons of
All the
them.
mega
Ray of
churches.
Hope. If you go to church, there's thousands of gays and lesbians sitting right in front of the pastor. Sometimes the pastors themselves are even gay. So you're saying everybody is an abomination.
That's why I was finna say, how many preachers fucking these little boys?
It's a whole lot, if you want to call a spade a spade.
And especially in the Catholic Church. You ever seen that movie Spotlight based on the true story of the Catholic priest and the little altar boys? It'll make you sick.
Oh, yeah.
It's based on the true story. Rose said, right, to each his own, leave people alone. Absolutely, Rose. She was trying to say preachers' kids. She said, Marin said, on my mom's deathbed, she told me to live my truth. Meanwhile, I never thought she knew. A mother always knows. Always.
Always.
They don't talk about it. I don't care if they don't talk about it. They never mention it, but they always know. Always. That's why when you have women's sons is having babies and they'll look at that baby and be like, that baby don't belong to my son, just because they know. And sometimes they could be wrong, but when it comes to certain things like homosexuality or their child being bisexual or whatever, they know. They just know. Especially if you're in tune with your child,
Right.
This is like if your child come in acting different, when something is immediately wrong. It's like my kids can't hide shit from me, and if they do something, they try to stay away from me because I'm gonna pick it up right away. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with their sexuality. One said God puts a living breath in an unliving cell, so the baby is perfect, knowing nothing. I'm not judging no one. I just make a perfect baby until it learns sin. No baby is perfect. Nobody is perfect. That's why they say, it's taught to us that we're born into sin. And so, the confusion always is and has been for me is, okay, so they say don't have a baby out of wedlock, right? So if you're married to the person and you have this child, how is your child born into sin? You know what I'm saying? So that the baby should have been conceived in love and in the sanctity of marriage. But even when you have that baby, they say that child was still born into sin. So that part I don't get. If somebody can explain it to me, I'm all ears.
Because it's like you say, if someone goes out, so if you go out and you have a baby by an adulterous affair or a fornication affair, that's that baby. Is that baby now born into? It's born a bastard. We know that, but is it automatically this baby is born into sin?
Right. But they said that about all children.
And you think about it, parents baptize babies when they're born. What does a baby know from right from wrong when
they
when
don't baptize them? They christen them.
They christen them, but when they baptize them when they 2 and 3.
They don't even.
What do they really know to be baptized? Nothing. But it's traditional for people to do it because it looks a certain way. My baby's baptized. Baby don't know nothing at all about sin. By the time it hits 7, it's lying. By the time it's 5, it's probably done told about 4 or 5 lies. By the time it hits 3, it done told you 1 lie. But it wasn't born that way. Did the parent teach it to them? No.
Well, that's why I say the parent bears the child's sins until the child is 12. So like you just said, if the child is doing all these things, Brixton lied on me this morning. You too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they said the parent bears the burden and the sin of the child until the child is 12. What if the child don't even know what they're talking about? How is it a sin if you don't know? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I don't know. That's something that you have to study for yourself, interpret for yourself, and come to your own understanding. Let me see. He said, God puts, I said that, not just know a perfect baby until it learns sin. God. Okay. Tarvis said, cause you teach him different. Goldie said, the topic was born gay. All the reason I heard was after birth, which makes it a choice. When you're born, you know nothing. Nobody remember being born. Everything is taught later in life. Some were bullied and may have been weaker than others, period. Just sounds like excuses. I don't believe that, Goldie. I don't
either, Goldie.
Because you know what? I'm going to tell you something. And my mama said, there's no way I would have been able to know this. She said she was pregnant with me at the time. My sister's appendix ruptured when she was 5.5. They're 6 years older than me. I told my mama everything my sister had on, from her socks to her shoes, her bows, the little dress she had on, and how her hair was. And my mama said, how did you know? She said, you wasn't even born then, but I saw it clear as day. So I do believe that in the womb, the body is a miraculous thing. You know, we always go through things and feel things that we can't explain. But when I told my mama that, she was like, how did you know that? But I knew it.
Right.
And she had never told me that. And she said, you couldn't have been there. I said, well, I saw it. And I truly did. But she said she was pregnant with me. So that just says to me that God gives people gifts that are unexplainable. You know what I'm saying? Some things are just not meant to be explained, and it is what it is. But again, people always take the Bible and put it to what they're trying to say for themselves to make themselves feel better about whatever they're doing. That's all I'm saying. He said, you take the time to teach right from wrong. Of course. And just because you're teaching your child right from wrong, this still does not exclude them or exempt them from being who they are. Period.
Exactly.
Marion said, at Goldie, open your mind and shut up the ignorance. Okay, man. Kevin said, born gay, I just don't see it. It is a choice and a misunderstanding, a natural order. Can't criticize gay people, let them do what they do. No one is perfect. Well, you know, like I said yesterday to everything else, everybody can agree to disagree. Everybody has their own beliefs about what is, what shouldn't be. And personally and truly, if you haven't had that experience or been around it or birthed a child that's gone through that, you can't sit here and say,
because you don't know
what isn't, because you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Manissa said, this is a born thing, not a choice. Things don't make you a guy. Exactly, Manissa. It doesn't. Etienne said, I'm talking about sometimes people could be a product of their environment sometimes. That's true too, Etienne.
Sometimes, yeah. Mary said, and we are. Hi, Leandra. Leandra said, we are not supposed to judge anyone. We all have to stand before God alone with Jesus as our advocate. If I as a parent will lie to my child no less, since God is our Father, would he stop loving us? He made everyone. Exactly, Leandra. Mary said, because we are exposed to a lot more than the average. You better say that again. And did say that again. And then a lot more.
One said, the devil is the author of confusion. Being gay is against God's will. Can two men make a baby, or can two women make a baby? Nope, they sure cannot.
They cannot.
But a woman can still, and they can still make children without having intercourse. That's what you have IVF for.
Surrogate mothers.
Surrogate mothers.
That would mean a whole lot would be wrong with the world right now. That's why I said you can't pick and choose parts of the Bible that fits and accommodates your life, and then say, oh, this is wrong, and then all the other stuff in your life you're doing is wrong.
Right. If you having sex and you're not married, that's a sin.
It's wrong.
Wrong, wrong, wrong. And it ain't no way to fix that. You already done it. You can't undo it. You did it already. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? So people stop pointing fingers at people. Mary said not gay. Kevin said feminine. Goldie said, I don't care. Either way the topic was born gay. No one knows anything when born. Open your mind to the trick who had something to say. Okay, Goldie, we don't have to resort to name calling now. But I'm just saying.
And don't be calling people tricks, Goldie.
We can agree to disagree.
And she said your name, Goldie.
She said being transgender is totally different. Yeah. When you transgender, it's just you totally identify with the opposites, with the other sex.
With the other sex.
Yourself being that. Yeah. One said, what was one of God's reasons why he destroyed the city of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Because they were sleeping amongst men, but they were sleeping, they were sinning, they was fornicating, they was committing adultery. There was a lot that went on in Sodom and Gomorrah. It didn't just point out the gays.
And again, since the beginning of time, sexuality has been prevalent. Mary said, at Goldie, are you referring to me? Trust, you don't want that smoke. Stay on topic.
No, you didn't come for it, Mary. Stop it.
Don't get her started. I'm telling you. Hey, Orlando. Right, Gina, to each his own. Mary said, yep, it has. One said, do you believe life after death? You know, I actually read about that often in reincarnations and stuff like that. A lot of people say there is, and I believe there is. I feel like, but that's a whole nother topic. I don't want to get off into that, but yeah,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on Monday. Yeah, we'll talk about that Monday.
I do believe in life. I believe in life after death. I do. I also believe in reincarnation, but that's a whole nother topic too. Etienne said, I've had ladies from Atlanta not trusting because they have been tricked by undercover brothers. I get mad as hell when they act like they got to check every guy because of the nigs there. Where I grew up, they would whoop a person's ass if they came onto them. I don't like when a gay guy look at me wrong. I be ready to catch a case. Why? Because I feel like this when you say this, Etienne. If you
it sounds ignorant, first of all.
Wait a minute. If you're comfortable in your own skin, you comfortable with your own sexuality, I don't give a damn if you was the only straight man in a group or a dozen of gay men. You stand your ground and you be you. Because guess what? Every gay man that look at you don't want your ass either. He could just be looking like, oh, he cute and keep it moving.
And he might be saying that. He might just be looking.
And even if they're looking and they're not approaching you or they're not coming onto you, that's just what it is. I think when people do that, I think it's an issue that you might need to look a little further into yourself. Not saying that that's you. I'm just saying when people have that stigma or they feel uncomfortable around somebody that's gay, I think you need to look into yourself, because if you're a real man and you straight and you all this,
what's making you so uncomfortable
around you? Yeah, it doesn't matter who comes around you.
What's making you so uncomfortable?
That's what I'm saying.
And if everything always results into, oh, if somebody look at me wrong, I'm gonna catch hands. The average gay person, honey, some of them little suckers know how to fight. They might whoop your ass. I mean, you know, it always comes down to let me harm somebody, let me hurt somebody. When it could just be an innocent look, period, that someone just glanced at you and not even warning you. Just like a typical, if you walk into a room and your shirt look raggedy, women and men might look. That's gonna make you want to whoop a woman's ass for looking at you. That's how ignorant that comment sounds. I'm just saying.
Leandra said, God made us all. I don't think he makes mistakes. We're not supposed to judge anyone. I, as a mother, would love my children no matter what. So would you not think that the Father would love a gay person? We all stand before the Father alone. Jesus will stand with us as an advocate. Yep, you're right, Leandra. You're right. He said, Etienne, that is, I have nothing against gay people, but I can't understand gay guys because I love a woman so much. But to each his own. It's not for you to
It's
understand.
not for
If
you
you're
to
not
understand.
gay, that's not a thing for you. It's not an issue for them. It shouldn't be an issue for you. That's just like you like women, they don't. And that's just what it is. One said, I'm going to leave this subject alone. Just the Eminem commercial when I sing Santa Claus, he is a real, not saying y'all don't believe, but a lot of people wake up they after they death to see the Heavenly Father. Amen. Shalom. I'm going to just listen. Okay.
Okay.
Well, a lot of people have said that, you know. Hey Bear. He said no. Bear said it's a learned behavior. I don't think so, Bear. Hey Jay Anna. She said, can you so you can't be born gay? Yes, you can. She said no. She said no, you can't be born gay is what she's saying. I think so. Hey Rhonda. Ethan said, have you ever heard of a woman being cheated on for years and years by men and even abused also? Then some start seeing women because the woman give the attention and affection they need. I feel like if that happened, she was already curious anyway, too. Because Shelly got a friend, and I know her, and she was never gay, but she met somebody, and she just fell in love with her, and they together. But she still says she's not gay, and they in a whole life relationship. Right?
Some people just like who they like. The bottom line is this: if we just sit here,
for her,
okay,
it's just love.
the topic is, can you be born gay? The question is, and I'm going to speak as a mother. I don't want to put my business out there, but since the podcast is about this, I have a child who's a transgender. I think I post pictures of my transgender child. My child was not taught how to behave any kind of way. My child was not prissied around in dresses. From the time my child probably was, when he realized when he was probably one, and I as a mother,
younger than that,
looking at my kid and saying something is different about this child from little. I don't think I sat there and said, oh, you know what? My child's going to grow up and he's going to wear a skirt. I think as he got to ages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no matter how much I tried to beat it out of him, strangle him, choke him, take him to church, sit him in front of the altar, have the family ridicule him, everything that came down the punchline that I tried to do because politically correct, someone was telling me this is morally wrong. When in my gut, all I kept saying was something about him is different and I can't beat it out of him. So when you sit on a podcast and you listen to people say, can this be, can this not be, it's taught, is it wrong, is it right? Life is wrong and right, period. You love what you love because it's yours. You don't ridicule it. You don't try to critique it. You don't try to make it correct because it wasn't wrong. It's just the way it is. And how dare anybody? How dare my child have to take his life because I could not accept what he was because the world was telling me it was wrong. So when you come to a podcast and you're sitting here and you're having people tell you everything in life that is wrong, no, it's not wrong. My child was born a certain kind of way. He came out a certain kind of way. He acted differently from day one. And I was a damn good mother. So it wasn't installed. It wasn't something I was saying, oh, baby, go out here and play with a Barbie doll. Go out here and don't bat a ball. And we beat him for years trying to get him right. So don't tell me about what is and what's not in the eyes of whoever, because you'll spend the rest of your life trying to dictate somebody that you cannot fix because that's who they are. Period. It's who they are.
And that's why I said what I said earlier. When you try to beat it out of this child and this, that, and then, I tell you all the time, and we talked about this before on here when I said a lot of your problem was worrying about what other people thought. And I said, you can't worry about what them people think. That's your child. They ain't doing nothing for it anyway. So what difference do it make to you? Let that child live in their truth and leave her alone. I say it all the time. But you know, that goes back to what you just said. Until you experience that as a parent or for yourself, you can't sit here and say, ain't nobody born that way. I knew it when the child was a few months old, like probably maybe 6, 7 months old. It was just there. We just knew. And I said, you got a little soprano, a tambourine player. You know, we make jokes about it. And
Because
like,
we knew.
are you crazy? Yeah, because we knew. And it wasn't a big deal. But for I'm going to just say this, for Shelly, I think it was more for you because of your upbringing, you know, the religious background and what everybody else thought and all of that. The child suffered from that. You know what I'm saying? And as far as that, and then when you finally came around finally and was like, fuck it. I said, you need to tell them that's your child. You're not going to turn your back on your child just because of something that they don't like. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you will still provide for the child anyway. And if she needed a drink of water, they weren't going to give it to her. So what are you so worried about them for? You know what I'm saying? And once that happened and you accepted that, and as a mother, you know, I think it would be hard in your position because that's not what you want. When you have a child, you want that child to be who you had. But it doesn't always work that way.
But if you see things, you can't look away from what you see. You can't look away and keep saying, no, you know, this don't, and you know it ain't lining up. You know something's different. You know something's wrong. Now, when I took him to the doctor and the doctor said, you know what? We can give your child hormones at 1 to make him normal. What made him wrong?
Right. That's why I said,
what made him wrong?
Right or wrong,
so you want me to pump him to make him to what you feel is going to make him right.
What you feel is acceptable in society.
No,
and
ma'am.
Guess what? As a black man, he was going to be rejected in a whole lot of ways. As a black female, she's still rejected in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to stop this person for? Let that person walk in their own truth. Because at the end of the day, that's still your child. You love her the same, and you keep it moving. Cuss her out just like you cuss out Jalen. So what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? Leave people alone.
Leaving people alone and letting them be happy in their spirit, honey, and let them be. Let them be.
Okay, let's read these comments because our hour about to be up. Jayana said, I think being fatherless or lacking a mother, a child just gravitate to that one more. I don't think so, Jayana. I just don't think that, because like we said, and I was at a whole ride with this child from birth to now, and it was just there. That's how she was born. That's how she always been, and it ain't been nothing different. And you can't.
And if that be the case, Gianna, that's like saying if your mama's a gangster, you're gonna be a gangster. If your kids is raised in a household that they cuss all the time and carry on all the time, that's their upbringing. That's how they're gonna be. If you're fucking a nigga every day in front of your kid, is your kid gonna go around screwing people when she's 7? I mean, come on, let's be real. If we're gonna talk real,
right?
Let's not sugarcoat none of it. Let's just put it all on the table. If we're gonna call a spade, call the spade.
But you know what? That's why you raise your kids. You know, once you raise your child up, they go the way that they're going to go. You could be the best parent you want to be. You can do everything under the sun for this child. But guess what? That child one day is going to grow up and still go off and do whatever the hell they want
and
to do.
Do whatever they want.
They may take some of the values and some of the morals that you instilled in them, but they still going to go be themselves, period. It ain't nothing you did wrong. It ain't nothing the daddy did wrong. It ain't nothing nobody did wrong.
It has nothing to do with the household.
That's just how the child was born, period. And that's just like you say, if you laying up with all these different people in front of your kids, what's to say your daughter ain't gonna grow up a hoe? Your son ain't gonna grow up a drug dealer, pimp, or womanizer, or whatever the case may be.
Or think that's people the way of life because they done seen you do it. I mean, you gotta think about what you say.
People don't always gravitate to what they see or what they've been exposed to. It could be other things, or it could just truly be in them. Period.
Right. Who they are.
If it's like my mom used to say, if it's in you, it's in you. Can't nobody make you do nothing you don't want to do.
It's like if a child is born evil, and it just is evil, and you can't fix it because it's just an evil child. You can't fix it. A child could be born a pedophile. A child could be born a rapist, a killer. Do you think they parents sit there and go, you're gonna rape somebody when you get older, baby? Go out here and rape that girl because she look good. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's crazy. Make it make sense.
Make it all make sense.
Rhonda said, thank you, preach. Tracy said, born. Gina said it runs through the family sometimes. That's why I said, Gina, earlier, sometimes it is genetics. And it could be family that you never even know. It could be ancestral. What passed way down from ancestors. You just don't know. That's why when kids are born and you be like, damn, he look just like my so-and-so and so-and-so. You never seen this person a day in your life. They could have been born 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, you know, or decades ago, or a century ago, or whatever the case may be. And somebody knew that person. And that's why I say I believe in reincarnation, because people come back as people all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you see all these similarities and stuff. So you can't sit here and point your finger and say, well, somebody is not born as, or because there's lack of this and lack of that. You could give a child all the love in the world, and if that child is gay, that's just who they are. You can send them away to schools. You can, you know, try to force them with girls. You can do all this type of shit, but it is who they are, and that is not going to change. The only thing you're doing is making your child more and more fucking miserable because they can't be themselves around you.
They can't be themselves. But you are being you and living your best life, and you have a child here who's suffering because they can't be who they want to be because society says it's not correct.
Hold on, y'all. Go ahead, keep talking.
So I'm just saying, you know, and I'm just saying, when you sit here and you're judging and you're looking and you're saying things can't be, how do you know it really can't just be? How do you know that's just not the way that it is when you sit and you're looking from a different angle in your own life and you're speaking from your own truth and you're saying, nah, I didn't do that wrong. No, this child had everything it needed. No, it didn't struggle. It didn't have a hard, terrible life, but it came out a certain way. And do I say to myself that there was something wrong inside of me internally that made my kid wrong? No.
Let me say this before I forget. That's just like me and you, right? We done been through some shit in life. We were never exposed to certain things, but we ended up with dudes that did certain things. Our daddies didn't do it. Our mama certainly didn't do a lot of shit that we done. So that's what I'm saying. We grew up, we took what they taught us, but we still did our thing, what we wanted to do. That had nothing to do with the bearing of the parent or how we were taught or how we was raised. We still knew right from wrong, and we didn't do nothing to hurt nobody. We was just living and having a good time and living life. That's it.
Right.
So you can't sit here and say, well, you know, people say, I wasn't raised that way. Well, I wasn't raised a lot of goddamn ways, but life forced me to do some shit I didn't
a whole lot of stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you regret it? No. It makes you who you are.
And bringing up that point, that's just like, you know, E.T. was saying sometimes you're a product of your environment. Yes, sometimes you are, but look how many people get out of that. Or look how many people have never been exposed to an environment and start doing all the shit that everybody be looking like, well, where'd that come from? They wasn't raised. Because life throws you curveballs and deals you cards where you never thought you would have to do some of the shit that you've had to do in life. Right. So with that being said, you born certain ways, period. And then if you born, go ahead.
Then the Bible says, God knows your path before you went down your path. He knows your walk before you got there. So if he knows your walk, he knows you walking in the direction that may not lead you in the right direction. But who is it for you to say that cannot be corrected if it was something to be corrected?
Right. God knows and sees and knows all things. That's like he knows your days are numbered, but when you're in the womb, he knows exactly your last day. You're going to take your last breath. So why wouldn't he know when you're going to be? You know what I'm saying? People make stuff make sense. Okay, y'all, we got to get, because my tablet about to die. One said, sorry, I left a few words out of that last comment. Forgive me, just feeling the words. We do, Juan. Bear said, in the health field, I've noticed it's a learned behavior. For some people, it could be, but we're talking about the people that's born that way, Bear. Thank you, Gina. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, Lord, y'all. We're going to miss a lot of these comments tonight because my thing about to die.
I think some men are born with a little more estrogen and vice versa.
Yep, Sonny, that's true. She said, my grandmother told me my mother was boyish all her life. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Wait a minute.
Okay, we're not talking about Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston made a choice.
He said Whitney Houston wasn't gay or bi, but she started messing with a lady when she was with Bobby. How you know that? Was you there? That's just what you heard and what you read. She was with that girl before him, as a matter of fact. So that's just I'm saying. You know, people, yeah, Jenny, he was born that way. But that's just, you know, people always read things and take, you know, what they read and take it for to be true when they don't really know if you weren't there. This is like me. I hear shit about me all the time that ain't true. But you think I give a damn? No, I don't. I'm just saying you hear things all the time, and just because you're saying that's how it happened, that's not how it happened. You know?
Gianna said,
Police-
love is love, but discipline, laugh out loud. Discipline is how you discipline your kids. That's you're supposed to
That's
discipline
different.
your children. And that's totally
different.
different. Your kids could be running around free. Are they disciplined? Your kids could be cussing. That's not discipline. If you cuss in front of your kids all day, every day, you think the kids is going to learn how to cuss and you're going to discipline them when they're doing it? Do as I say, but not as I do. That's some bullshit. If you teaching your kids a certain thing, that's what they're going to learn.
Right.
Love is love, but discipline is a whole nother topic.
Oh, y'all. Hold on. I'm still here. I'm trying to
This topic can go on and on forever about the way people feel and the way people think. We are on this hour. We're going to have to read some of these and probably answer them later. But it's a topic that you need to really sit down and think about. When you sitting there treating somebody bad that is transgender, gay, bisexual, born differently, you know, have a handicap, a deficiency. We sit down and we sit as people and we criticize people every day, all day. If God makes nothing imperfect, what if when you look at a person and you say that's an ugly person? That person is not ugly to God because he made that person also very perfect.
in his
But we
image.
find, yeah, and we find things constantly to say this is wrong and that is wrong and this is not right and this is not right because we make it fit the way it fits in our lives to make it okay for us. That's what we do as humans. We are imperfect. All of us are. What we need to stop doing is casting the stone. Just like Jesus said, he who without sin cast the stone. All of us got sin on us. So we shouldn't be judging nobody.
Standing right
We shouldn't be
there.
judging nobody, period.
Violet said her mother was always tomboyish. What she say? My mother wasn't sexually abused or anything. She was just always a tomboy. Maren said, some people it's not a preference, it's a feeling. Some people don't see gender. It's just a feeling. It's called pansexual. Google it. Yeah, I know about that.
We heard about that one.
Rose said, amen. Shelly, Peanut said, yup. Gina said, right. Violet said, my mother has always lived her truth. Felicia said, God is love. I wish an MF would. I have a pansexual. Right. She wished they would, Felicia, because she'll set them straight real quick. She said she got a pansexual child. Right. Violet said, both me and my sister are gay and we were raised by our lesbian mother. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. And that doesn't mean that's why you are. That's
why you gay. Because people will say that next. Oh, that's why you gay, girl, because your mom was gay. No.
Right. I don't have no. Jay-Z mama gay, but he ain't. And he loved her just the same as anything else. She said society makes it wrong. Hey Donnie. Donna said the Bible says you can be born that way. Violet said my mother had both parents and a PK kid at that. And it's usually a lot of the preachers' kids because they drill that religion in them so much, they be like, it makes their kids curious. Like, what is this? Like, they want to find out what it is. And then they end up liking it or whatever, or that's just who they were the whole time anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then truth, like somebody said too, sometimes people just want to experiment. But when you're born that way, you can't get away from it. I don't care how you try to fight it, what you try to do.
It's going to keep circling back to you.
That's just what it is. Jayana said, yeah, that's how it be. What they see is what they see. Kevin said, I'm curious, what behaviors at 6 months and 1 year did you see that made you think he was different? He was just always different.
It was always different, Kevin. I mean, from the time he could, in his whole being, from the time he was one, literally, nothing, his walk, the way he touched things, The way he
he
cried, the
cried.
delicacy, everything was so delicate. So by the time he was 2 and he could actually talk, it was, oh, it was always that. It was always, and it wasn't something he saw. He had his dad in the house. He saw it, but it wasn't there. It just wasn't there. So him just pritzing around, that's what he thought was normal. That's what he thought was normal. From the time he was 3, he was tying things on his head, saying, this is what I do, and this is what I do. Now, as a mother, and you're looking on and you're thinking to yourself, which any mother would, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do? And you start going back in your mind to think, is this karma? Is it something that I did in my past? Is it something that's coming up? It was none of that. It was none of that. It was what it was, and I had to accept it for what it is. Now, what I did do was I tormented the child because I felt like I needed to make people accept him as a boy. This is who he is. 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 And this is what I need him to be to make everybody else happy. And the little kid was the one suffering in the process.
That's what I said earlier. Orlando said to Jay, that's not true. My dad wasn't in my life and I ain't close to gay. Right. That's what we were saying, Orlando. Leandra said, we are created in our mother's body. That is where our sex is chosen between male and female. Some just get a little more than others. So yes, I think you can be born that way. I had a great dad, but I knew he was bisexual when I got grown. I loved him just the same. Okay. Etienne said, I think y'all got me wrong earlier. I was talking about guys coming on to the straight brothers, winking their eyes and flirting. I got nothing against a person that don't do that. What I was saying wasn't ignorant. It's how most, I guess, heterosexual men would feel disrespected. But you'll be surprised, like I say, my gay friend says the majority of the men, if not all of the men he deal with, are heterosexual with wives and children and everything. And like I will continue to say, and I tell him, if they're screwing you, they're not heterosexual.
Right.
And that's all I'm gonna say about that. And it and I feel like if you true to yourself and you straight or whatever, a man, what reason do you have to feel offended because a gay man looks at you? That's like when people get mad when people look at them, period. People can look wherever they want to look. And if they're not looking at you and being disrespectful to you, what do you care? What difference does it make?
Right.
Yeah, we'll read these last couple and we're going to get on off of here. Jana said, I say teach a child what is right. And at the end of the day, the choices they make is what they make. At least you taught them right. That's what we said earlier, baby. That's true. Because, even you, me, Shelly, anybody, we've been raised right, of course, and we've been taught things, but at the end of the day, when you become an adult, you encounter certain things that change how you may deal with something. A lot of times we've done shit that we never thought we would do, but we did it because we had to do it for a reason, not because it's something we wanted to do. It's just you do what you have to do. And sometimes you be like, damn, I can't believe I did that. Or should I do that? And you have to start questioning yourself. But at the end of the day, regardless, you still have to do what's best for you and what's going to make you happy and what's going to make you sleep well at night. That's it. Wallace said, my purpose on this earth is to love as Jesus did. And there was no hate in him. There was no judgment with him. That's the best I can do. And that's all I can do. Amen, Wallace.
Exactly.
You better say it again. And that's how it should be. And if people were truly like that, Wallace, and thought that way, the world would be a much better place. Peanut said, as they get older, they will do what they want, regardless how you raise them. Exactly, Peanut.
Exactly.
Juan said, I'm sorry, please forgive me, not trying to judge no one. I have gay and lesbian friends. I still love them just like Michael Jackson. I look at the man in the mirror, but I won't lead nobody down the wrong road. If I see someone about to commit, I will try to stop them. But that's not even your place if they're not, because you don't know what's in their heart and you don't know their truth. Now, if you try to stop somebody from hurting themselves or something like that, yeah, I get it. But you can't tell nobody how to live their lives. That's just like if you got a person on drugs and you're doing everything within your power to get them off of drugs. Until the person wants to help themselves, you can't help them anyway, no matter what you do. Leave people alone, let people live their own damn life. Like I said, Matthew 19, chapter 12, verse, you could be born that way. Right. Leandra said, I was a drug addict in my younger days. None of my children are addicts. My youngest son almost started drinking too much. He stopped at an early age in his life. And that's good. And see, sometimes, with that being said, Leandra, sometimes kids see what they don't want to be.
Right. And it makes them different.
You know what I'm saying? This is like, a lot of young men grow up and they see their daddy wasn't there with their mom or there to raise them. When they have children, contrary to popular belief, they're great dads because they're giving that child something that they never had. It could work either way. Gina, you sound crazy. I just tell it how it is, Gina and Latoya. Let's see. Okay, y'all, these comments keep coming in. We ain't gonna never get off of here.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. Jayana says, wait a minute. Oh Lord Jesus. Hold on, y'all.
And then some of y'all people be hating on these gay people because they beautiful as hell.
And most of the gay people I know are very successful too. Etienne said, for the past 10 years, I've seen them pushing a gay narrative in the Black community. Rapper guys was wearing dresses and makeup, skinny pants, and tight shirts. If a person is really gay, then that's who they are. But some was playing a game and liked it. That could be true too, Etienne. You know what I'm saying? But I think if they doing that, because I don't give a damn what somebody tell you to do, what a fad is, whatever, a real man is gonna stand on all 10 toes and gonna be a real man. If they're doing that
And
shit,
be like,
they wanted
no.
to do it, and they feel like it's okay, I can really be my true self now. That's all that is.
Right.
And I said what I said. You too, Rose. Have a great night, love. He said, how do you know I don't know Whitney? My family from her hometown. I've been to her church before. I didn't say you didn't know her. I said quit believing everything you read. Because you read things and sometimes it's true, but you still have to do your research. But like I said, she was with that girl before she even met Bobby. That's the only thing I was saying. Janice said, I wouldn't dare judge, but I totally don't believe a person is born gay. And that's okay, Jayana, but I think they can be.
You're entitled to your opinion, darling.
Right. She says it's a choice. We are not gay, blah, blah, blah. It was normal for him. Most people don't know, but drug use adds to sexual confusion. That's what Jim said. Hey, Chris. Chris said he had me, Junior, Will, Gary, Lamont, Sean, and Goober. And right, he had all these male figures, but that's just who he was. Or who she is
exactly.
now. Talking about May. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like there wasn't male figures or role models in her life. It's just, that's just who she was. Period. Rose said, I've met Shelly's live son, and he is a beautiful soul. I've never judged anyone. Right, Rose.
Rose.
Leandra, I'm enjoying this conversation. Amen. It said, winking is something. Winking and coming on to me because I'm straight is disrespectful. Where I'm from, that's my point. We don't play that. Well, where was you at, Etia? I'm just saying. Where were you at?
And blinking at a girl, ain't that disrespectful? Want you winking and blinking at them?
Yeah. Most straight men will go off. I'm sorry, it's just the truth, and I'm stick to it. Not all of them. If a man is comfortable in his own skin, he ain't gonna worry about it. Chris said he had burns me. Yeah, and his grandfather all around him all day, every day. Right. But that's just who he was because he was born that way.
And it still didn't change the two.
Show didn't. All the ass whoopers didn't change. None of that did. Jenna said, you said what you said. That's right, Jenna. Jim said she was with the girl before Bobby. Right. That's what I said, Jim. Well, anyway, y'all, that's the last comment. We're going to hurry up and say what we got to say so we can get out. I'm scared. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. This was an interesting topic. And I'm sure we're going to keep getting comments after it's off, and we'll answer as many as we can. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Naughty Nice 22. Also, go to our merchandise page and order some of our merchandise. We truly appreciate all the orders that we have gotten, and don't stop ordering stuff. It is said winking and blinking at a gay woman would get me cussed out as well because they don't like men. Possibly, possibly, but why would you wink at a gay woman and you know she gay? Etienne. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and say good night. Shelly done got off of here, whatever. But love you too, Chris. So we're gonna go ahead and get off. So this is Shelly Live and Be Love Bird, loving life and loving what we do. And we will see you guys on Monday. It is the weekend, ain't it? And that's all. Bye, Rose. Good night, Etienne. Y'all don't know where she went. Now I gotta find the song. Hold on, Lord Jesus. Okay, I got it right here, y'all. I got you. So y'all have a great and safe weekend. And we will see you guys next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go.
Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal.
Shelly
Me don't want no
Live
fake love,
and
me
Be
only
Love
want the
Bird.
real deal.
Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. Just slip on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Shelly Live and Be Love.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
We're out. We're out of here.